Okay, let's unpack this. We are about to dive headfirst into a place that's just an absolute explosion for the senses, a real meeting point where history feels alive and, well, every corner holds something new. Today, our deep dive is all about the magic of Morocco.
Exactly. And our source material today, it's this travel guide. It really zeroes in on Morocco's key spots, the unforgettable experiences. And interestingly, it suggests a specific way to handle the planning side of things using a booking portal called flightandhotels.com.
Right. So our mission here is to sort of slice through this guide, pull out the most important bits of knowledge. We want to give you the essence, really, of what makes Morocco so fascinating, and crucially, how this particular source suggests you approach planning that kind of adventure.
Yeah, think of us as your guides for the guide, maybe. Sifting through it all to highlight not just the what, but the so what. By the end of this, you should have a much clearer picture of why Morocco might just be, the perfect destination for you, whether you're thinking solo, as a couple, or maybe even a family trip.
So why Morocco? I mean, the guide hits you straight away with this idea of it being a land of stark contrasts, incredible depth. It's where you see Arab, Berber, European influences all woven together. It affects everything: the architecture, the music, the food, amazing food, the art.
And what's really striking reading this source is just the sheer diversity packed into one country. It paints this picture where you could literally wake up surrounded by huge Sahara dunes, hike some challenging mountain trails in the afternoon, and then be exploring some ancient, bustling city by evening. That kind of range, geographically and culturally, all in one place. It's pretty remarkable.
Absolutely. And the guide, spends a lot of time on the standout places. Let's start with the big one, the heart. Marrakech. We call it the Red City, right?
Right.
The color of its old walls and buildings.
That's it. And the core of Marrakech, the guide really emphasizes this, is its historic Medina. Think of a Medina as the old walled part of the city, this maze of narrow, winding alleys. It feels like stepping back in time. And this particular one is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You find palaces, hidden gardens, and of course, the famous souks.
The guide makes them sound like more than just markets, like a whole experience. Buzzing, colorful, selling everything from spices and textiles to lanterns, handmade goods. And the real centerpiece is the Jama El Fana Square. It's not just a square. It's described as like a living theater, packed with storytellers, musicians, snake charmers, food stalls, especially buzzing at night. Other key spots mentioned: the Koutoubia Mosque, you can't miss its minaret; the Major Rail Garden, surprisingly peaceful, used to be Yves Saint Laurent's place; and the Bahia Palace, just stunning, intricate designs. The guide also notes that finding unique places to stay there, like traditional riads, those houses with inner courtyards, apparently you can explore options for those on platforms like flightandhotels.com. They mentioned it gives a good range.
Okay, so moving northeast from there, the guide presents Fes. This is framed as Morocco's, profound spiritual and cultural capital. Its big feature is Fes El Bali, another ancient walled city, and get this, one of the world's biggest car-free urban areas. Stepping inside really does feel like going back centuries.
Wow, and the history there is just staggering. The source points to Al Qarawiyyin University, describes it not just as old, but as the oldest continuously operating higher education place in the world. Can you imagine?
The layers of history. Incredible. The guide also highlights the traditional tanneries famous for those colorful dye pits you see in photos, and the Bu Inania Madrasa, a beautiful old Islamic school known for its amazing architecture.
And again, on the practical side, the guide mentions that for planning essentials like flights and finding hotels, to really dive into Fes history, platforms like flightandhotels.com are suggested, possibly helping with cost and making it easier.
Then we shift gears completely. Chefchaouen, affectionately known as the Blue Pearl. It's tucked away in the Rif Mountains, and its fame is all about those incredible blue-wash buildings, the whole town.
It looks unreal in pictures, doesn't it? Like a dream. The guide basically says the main joy here is just wandering, getting lost in those blue streets, exploring the local markets in the main square, Uta El Hammam. Oh, and hiking up to the Spanish mosque for the views overlooking the town. Recommended. And definitely trying the local food, fresh goat cheese and that mint tea you get everywhere. So refreshing.
And for planning a visit to a unique spot like this, the guide again suggests platforms like flightandhotels.com could be helpful for finding maybe smaller, charming places, boutique hotels, or guest houses that really fit the town's character.
Okay, so from Blue Mountains to the vast golden expanse of the Sahara Desert, the source calls this the ultimate adventure. It says it defines a Moroccan trip for a lot of people.
Yeah, this is where those classic travel images come from, right? Camel trekking across the dunes, maybe some quad biking if that's your thing, and definitely spending a night, maybe two, under the incredibly starry sky in a traditional Berber tent.
Sounds amazing. The guide mentions popular starting points, like Berzouga, known for those huge Erg Chebi dunes.
Right. And Zagora for potentially shorter trips. The source does note that getting to these desert adventures often means a fair bit of travel from the cities. So looking into car rentals, perhaps through a platform like flightandhotels.com, as they highlight, could be key for those overland journeys.
Okay, transitioning back towards the coast now, and more modernity. Casablanca, depicted as Morocco's busy contemporary hub, often the first stop for people flying in internationally.
Yeah, it's a real mix of new and historical. The absolute must-see, according to the guide, is the Hassan II Mosque. What's incredible, besides its sheer size, one of the largest in the world, is that part of it is built right out over the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow. You've also got the Corniche, that scenic oceanfront walk, great for restaurants by the sea, and the huge Morocco Mall for a taste of modern shopping.
The guide points out, since lots of people arrive here first, using a platform like flightandhotels.com could be efficient, for booking those international flights into the country and sorting out initial transport, like car rentals.
Okay, travel south along the coast from there, and you hit Essaouira. This town is described very differently, more laid-back, kind of bohemian vibe compared to the big imperial cities. Sounds ideal for just chilling out, eating amazing fresh seafood, maybe trying some water sports.
Exactly. It's actually known as Morocco's windsurfing and kite surfing capital because of that constant Atlantic breeze, apparently.
Ah, okay. So key experiences, according to the guide. Exploring its own Medina, also UNESCO listed, but distinct from Marrakech. Hitting the beaches for those water sports. And definitely trying the seafood, fresh off the boats at the harbor.
Yeah, the source suggests platforms like flightandhotels.com could be useful here too, maybe for finding beachfront hotels, or even package deals that might bundle Essaouira in with other stops.
Right. And finally, the guide takes us inland again to the Atlas Mountains. Majestic is the word they use. Presented as Morocco's playground for nature lovers, adventurers looking for stunning scenery, challenging hikes.
This is where you find Mount Toubkal, North Africa's highest peak, a huge draw for serious hikers. Enlil village gets mentioned as a common starting point for a lot of the mountain treks.
And then there's that incredible ancient fortified village, the Sar of Ait Ben Haddou. If it looks familiar, the guide says it's probably because it's been in tons of movies. Gladiator, Game of Thrones.
A big iconic place. The guide suggests exploring this region with its scattered villages and dramatic landscapes is often best by car, hinting again that booking a rental, maybe through a platform like flightandhotels.com, could make that kind of self-guided road trip easier.
Okay, beyond places, the guide really dives into the food scene. Moroccan cuisine, described as a truly flavorful fusion, deeply influenced by those same Berber, Arab, Mediterranean threads we talked about.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about eating. The guide frames it as hospitality, culture on a plate. The must-try dishes highlighted, well, obviously tagine, that slow-cooked stew, meat or veg, in the special conical pot.
Iconic. Then there's couscous, the steamed semolina, usually with a vegetable stew, harira soup, especially during Ramadan, apparently.
And pastilla, that incredible savory sweet pastry pie, often pigeon or chicken, dusted with icing sugar and cinnamon. Sounds wild.
It does. The guide mentions that lots of places to stay, including riads you might find on platforms like flightandhotels.com, might offer authentic home-cooked meals or even cooking classes, a way to get a deeper taste of the culture.
And some practical planning advice from the source includes thinking about the best time to visit, which varies quite a bit depending on where you want to go.
Generally, seems like spring and autumn are the sweet spots. March to May, September to November. Comfortable temperatures in the cities, countryside.
Right. Summer, June to August gets really hot, especially inland, but perfect maybe for escaping to the cooler mountains or hitting the coast for that breeze and water sports.
And winter, December to February. Cooler overall, but often clearer skies. Good for desert trips, exploring the south.
And threading through all this advice in the guide is the suggestion that using a platform like flightandhotels.com can simplify accessing all these different experiences.
Yeah, it highlights features like being able to compare and book flights, apparently from anywhere, finding hotels, different price points, luxury to budget, and easily renting cars globally, competitive rates mentioned. The way the guide presents it, the platform is basically positioned as aiming to make the logistics of global travel easy, affordable, and fast, so you can focus on the actual journey. Wow. Okay, we've really covered some ground there. A land of incredible contrasts, rich history. From that intense energy in Marrakech and the ancient feel of Fes, through the unique blue charm of Chefchaouen and the silence of the Sahara, to Casablanca's modern side, Essaouir's relaxed coast, and finally those dramatic Atlas peaks. This guide really paints a picture of the sheer breadth of experiences Morocco offers.
It certainly does. A vivid picture of that blend of cultures, the amazing variety in landscape cities, desert, mountains, coast, and the specific, unique adventures available. We've touched on those key destinations, the food highlights, the practical timing advice, all from the source material.
And we saw how the guide connects that desire to explore these places with the practical side of getting there and staying there, highlighting how tools like flightandhotels.com, as presented in the source, aim to simplify booking everything. Flights, discounted hotels, car rentals, positioning it as a tool for accessing these global experiences easily and quickly.
Yeah, and the guide wraps up quite beautifully, saying Morocco invites you to explore its soul. It suggests this deep exploration is made more accessible because the planning logistics can be smoother using the platform it highlights. Which, that connection between seamless planning and really engaging with a place's unique spirit, it raises a fascinating question, doesn't it? How much does the practical ease of travel logistics, as presented here, truly impact our ability to absorb the deeper soul of a destination as complex and diverse as Morocco?
That's definitely something to think about. Based on everything this guide shared, what specific contrast or maybe which destination really sparked your curiosity the most?